All right, so this dish is really awesome. It's super simple. It's like a take on the classic Italian cacio e pepe, which is just real simple cheese, butter, salt, pepper. The difference that we're gonna do here is we're using a local company called Dynasty, and they make this spicy, really spicy, crunchy, sort of Asian flavored topping. One of the guys that started the company, his mother-in-law, just always had a bowl of this stuff laying around. They're like, man, you gotta market it. So to add some twist on that Asian stuff, we're actually gonna put a little bit of nori in this as well. So it's gonna give a little color pop on the plate and also reinforce some of those sort of like, you know, Asian-y flavors that are going on. So if you have a handy pasta basket, that's the best thing to do, because the key to this dish is actually making sure that you have some pasta water to kind of emulsify the sauce. So we're gonna go into the pasta basket. And you can certainly do this with any size, shape pasta you want. Spaghetti, I think, really works the best. So it's going in. If you don't have a pasta basket, you can either use tongs or a pasta server and scoop it out of the water and into the pan, because like I said, you're gonna want some of that starchy pasta water to kind of help bind everything together. In the restaurant, we make all of our pastas fresh. We have one pasta dish on the menu all the time. So if you make homemade pasta, this is great, but I do suggest drying the pasta before you do it instead of fresh. You're just gonna have a little bit better texture when you're eating it. All right, spaghetti is submerged in cooking. So really the only prep to this is gonna be at the end, we're gonna grate some Pecorino Romano cheese on top and tear up seaweed. So we're gonna go ahead and tear some seaweed. So as soon as this dish is ready, we can put it together super fast, because you want it to get to the table very hot so it doesn't get too sticky. So if you have kids and you have the snack size nori sheets, those things work great for this. But this is just standard sushi nori. We're just gonna tear it just into rustic chunks. You want it to be about a bite-sized piece. And remember that it will kind of change its shape when it rehydrates. So this is just toasted, pressed nori. And there's no recipe to this. This really is as much as you like, as little as you like. And keep in mind that the Crunch Dynasty is super delicious, but it is a little spicy. So if you're not big on spice, you're gonna wanna lay off a little bit. All right, so we're gonna get the pan hot. Not adding any oil, we're not really sauteing anything. We're just gonna get the pasta with some pasta water into that hot pan, hit it with butter, toss it so it sort of emulsifies with that pasta water that we were talking about before. And as you can see at the top, you're seeing a bunch of starch that's floating there. That's the sweet stuff. That's what's actually gonna make the sauce bind and come together. So we'll do a little cheat here. Once this is boiling, gonna take a decent sized knob of butter, about a tablespoon or so. Just keeping it moving. So we're getting that starch water and the butter all mixed together. We're gonna go a little bit lighter on the salt with this than I normally would, because there's a decent amount of salt in the Crunch Dynasty topping. Also a little bit lighter on the pepper than I normally would because of the heat. But you can see it's just a little butter sauce that's made just from that starchy pasta water. And that's really what you're looking for. And just keeping it moving is the key. So at this point, we're ready to plate. So we got our delicious al dente pasta. You get all that buttery goodness out of the pan. We got our delicious Crunch Dynasty here. It's gonna go right over the top. Once again, depending on how spicy you like it, that's gonna have a good little heat level there. Do a couple of pieces of seaweed. And this over the top with some Pecorino Romano. And there you go. It's about a 7-minute process. You got a delicious pasta dish.